Hey, everybody. As you can see, we're here with Jimmy Mulligan, the great, and producer Chris and I. And this is an add-on. This is a special one. We just had some news that a mutual good friend of ours and yours, Richard Sherman, has passed away. And, well, if the name doesn't ring a bell, the 500 songs that he wrote will. Mary Poppins, all Mary Poppins songs, all the songs from Jungle Book. And I'm pretty sure he had a few songs in Winnie the Pooh, too. I could be wrong. But, yeah, it's, he's one of the good guys. And he's a legend, a legendary man. He's, I remember meeting him for the first time saying, well, thank you for the soundtrack of my life.
Yeah. It was. It's so funny to add on to what Jim was just saying. The wonderful thing about the Sherman Brothers, of course, is their music and the legacy that they've left, and really the ability to tell stories. Something Richard always said: things that were simple, singable, and sincere, and they certainly accomplished that. And also, anybody who ever got to know Richard as a person, he was without question one of the kindest people I've ever met. I mean, I think you would attest to that. I mean, this morning, the show busy stuff aside, he was a star as a human being. I mean, his very soul was pure kindness and pure love, and you couldn't write those songs without having the kind of soul and the kind of spirit that he had, and the love for people. God, he genuinely loved people.
Yeah, he really did. I remember I was privileged to introduce my whole family, Margaret and all our daughters, and were there at the premiere of Christopher Robin. And he was gracious. He was like he was meeting princesses. You know, he was just so kind and so great. And then, my goodness, I've got so many stories. I'm overflowing with them. And I remember just different things. Like I asked him when I first met him, I said, so how many movies did you do the soundtrack for? They're legendary. And Dick was walking back and forth. He goes, 25 movies. We did 25 different movies. And if you count Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, it's what. And his brother, was sitting down there going, no, 28. 28. And he goes, wait, hold on. I think it was 28. Could be 27. And it was just the two of them together.
The boys, man.
The boys, yeah. And that's what Walt would call them.
Yeah.
The boys. Well, what's going to happen here? And I heard a great story that when Walt Disney was prepping to do Mary Poppins, he read the book. And he gave the book to the Sherman Brothers and said, I'm thinking of doing this movie, and I would like to turn it into a musical. So could you read this and see where you think it would be appropriate to put a song here, there, wherever. And the story goes that when they came back to him, they all had identical spots. Chim Chimmery was right there. Yeah. Feed the Birds was right there. And I think a lot of people know that Feed the Birds was, from what I hear, it was Walt's favorite song that they ever wrote.
That was his Friday afternoon song. He would just say, play it, and the boys would come in and play it. A neat little addendum to that. We could go for hours, which we won't do because we're in the middle of a show in London right now. But when I went through the archives with Greg Sherman, Richard's son, and Tim O'Day and Howard Green and the whole Disney gang.
Oh gosh!
We were in Walt's office, and Becky Klein went over and she pulled this old tattered yellow book off the shelf that was Walt's. And when Dave Smith had gone into the archives and really done a fabulous job, the whole team of making Walt's office at exactly as it was, to the point of where the pencils are sort of laid in the direction of the amount of paper clips. And the books were in the same order that Walt had. So Becky sort of picked up this old yellowed tome and pulled it down and opened it up. And on the inside of it, it said, forgive me for misquoting, it said, for Mr. Disney, may Mary Poppins be, as she so often put it, a pleasure of a treat, love P.L. Travers. And of course, chills the second I
Yes.
saw that. And I'm walking through the Walt Disney Archives, the Disney 100 last night, where they have the Pooh Bear from the film that they used with you for Christopher Robin. And I turned and I yelped to my wife and my brother-in-law. I said, "Oh my God!" I turned around and the book is there next door. And we were talking about Richard last night before we found out he had passed, and it was just like his little sense of humor, and maybe it was Walt sort of, guiding us through that legacy. So the end of the movie was Richard playing the piano, like he was in the cute little busker hat on the beach.
Yeah, and he kind of had that barbershop quartet look
Yeah.
about him, but he was only 1/4 of it. But it was really great. And I'm gonna say I'm busy doing nothing, and nothing is good enough for me. That's classic Sherman Brothers,
It's so Sherman.
isn't it? I mean, busy doing nothing and nothing's great. It's
And you guys were out there sitting in your chair, the
Oh,
Pooh and Tigger,
absolutely.
everybody were
Pooh, Tigger.
getting a suntan.
yes, getting a fur tan, whatever it was. But yeah, great memories for free from the Sherman Brothers.
What a precious man. And the legacy that you've shared with him. I mean, they said that Richard Sherman was Tigger. And obviously we've got Richard Sherman being Tigger.
Well, we know who was
and
Eeyore.
Jim Cummings being Tigger.
Yeah.
So it truly was. He was a bouncy, bubbly lollipop of a man.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
just dear heart. So
like I said, the ending of Christopher Robin, it gave me chills thinking about it. Just sitting there on the beach, pounding it out, it was great. And if you want to do yourself a favor, look up all the songs that he wrote, and
including the Wiener Schnitzel theme.
Oh,
the boys wrote the
oh my
Wiener
gosh.
Schnitzel theme back in the 50s, I guess.
Oh my gosh,
And
the Wiener Schnitzel theme.
Yeah, another neat
Okay.
thing is that theme to Christopher Robin. Whatever he played at the end of Christopher Robin, that
yes.
song that was used in a commercial here in the UK. And so I was over a few years ago. I was in the UK, and I forget what brand it was, but they used that song in the UK from Christopher Robin. And it was this really well-known commercial here. So,
Oh man.
sorry, advert.
Yeah.
Here, so.
So if you think you don't know them, you're wrong, because
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you that really briefly. I don't remember what we were recording, but I went in and like a goose. I said, "Oh, by the way, I found the cure for It's a Small World," and I never, you never saw, Bob throw his head back and laugh. He goes, "Ha ha ha! Tell him again. He found the cure for It's a Small World." I said, "Well, everyone wants a cure for that song."
That earworm.
Yeah, that earworm. You get it in your head and you're done. And it's okay. I'll give you the cure in a second. And I said, "It's the Beatles." "The Beatles are the cure." And I said, "Well, no, I mean, but one song in particular, because it's a lilting melody. The long and winding road." He goes, "And that's the cure?" And I said, "Yeah." And he just thought, it took the Beatles to find the cure for the Sherman Brothers. That's not bad.
That's
not bad.
amazing.
And it's just crack. I'll never forget it.
Well, it would have to be the Beatles that would dethrone that song out of your ear. He said people either wanted to kiss him or kick him. He preferred kisses, but he got it.
Yes.
I got
Oh, yeah.
stuck at Christmas time with them on It's a Small World one time. We were together in the boat riding it.
Oh, and it broke down?
Well, it was only about 5 minutes. But
Oh.
yeah, it was. That was. That
You
was
were ready to
quite fun.
confess to crimes you didn't even commit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, God, he's so missed. And we're going to go on for hours, but he's so missed.
Yes. We could probably do this all day, but we also probably shouldn't. I'll end up being maudlin, So,
My goodness. Well, I think it would be wonderful to have maybe Pooh give a little thank you to Richard Sherman for everything that Richard and Bob Sherman for what they've contributed. So take it away, Pooh Bear.
Lum-dee-dum-dum, doo-dee-doo-doo. Thank you very much for putting words and music in my mouth. And the wonderful thing about Tiggers It's the Sherman brothers.
Thanks, guys.
It's very sweet.
Love you, Jimbo.
Good night, folks.